What is up, you guys? Please excuse me for the fact that this is the third time that I am filming this sit down, because the first time the audio got super fucked up, the second time I wasn't recording. I am a great YouTuber. So basically in this video I decided that I was going to make over this hallway that I painted blue like 5 years ago, and yeah, there's not really much else to say in this intro other than thank you for being here. I am glad that you are subscribed. Thank you to my new subscribers and my old subscribers. Thank you for watching this. I am glad that you care. Also, I got an eyebrow piercing and I dyed my hair, but everything's fine. Don't worry. So the first thing that I did was I just started by removing everything in this hallway. Now this is always like the most tedious part about DIYs, is that making that jump to actually start and knowing that you're gonna have to remove everything and put it away and find a place for it. But a little tip that I have for you guys is to just carry a cup around with you when you're doing this part, so that you can have a place for all of your screws and your light switch covers. It just makes it a lot easier when you go to put it all back together again. Now I will say that I am extremely sorry to everybody, as this video is going to contain many ass shots. Now if you have been an old subscriber, you know that I am very open to talking about my flat pancake. There's just nothing there. There really isn't, but I can't help but put it in front of the fucking camera for some reason. So either enjoy it or skip through it. I'm just letting you know. There's a heads up. Another part of DIYs and room makeovers, hallway makeovers, whatever you want to call it, that I absolutely hate but is very necessary, is to clean everything. Now, every surface that was going to be painted I made sure was wiped down with just an all-purpose cleaner and some paper towels. I also made sure if there was any areas that had any gunk or anything, I sanded it all down just so that everything was smooth, prepped, and ready for paint. Speaking of prepping everything, I also had to tape everything off. Taping off carpeted stairs is just, it's awful. It's really awful. Don't take the task on if you don't have to. Speaking of the carpet, do not judge us, please. This carpet has been here since the 60s, and if you are following all of my other room makeovers, then you will know that I am slowly but surely taking the carpet out of every room. It will be gone eventually. Next, I just went in and vacuumed everything and got all of that crusty, dusty shit out of all the nooks and crannies, especially on the stairs. Again, carpeted stairs, it's just awful. I mean, God. Next, I went in with this primer, and the reason that I chose this one is because it said that it was high hiding and it had an hour of dry time. Plus, it was $16 versus the name brand, which was like $33, but it worked really good. If you've never used primer before, be prepared. It is definitely not like paint. It is super thick and sticky. That's what she said. And yeah, it's a different texture to work with, but I definitely recommend it if you're going over a bold color like this, especially with a lighter color. It really saves you a lot of time. So I just started to prime basically everything. I think the only thing that was getting left unpainted here was the banister going down, which I'll mention later. If you see my brother Brian there, he is amazing. I love you and I miss you. He came to visit from Arizona for a little while. He did quarantine before he got here and quarantined when he got back, so no worries there, but he did offer to help me a little bit during this process that I decided to take on right when he got here. I don't know why I do that. I also went in with the primer over the doors because the majority of the doors up here are white and they were just kind of looking old and scuffed up, and I figured the primer is white, I'll just put the primer over the doors, and it has held up perfectly well. Next, for areas like the stairs above, if you have a step stool, that's awesome, but I do not. So you're definitely gonna want a roller extender. Now, another tip for you guys is don't go to Home Depot and waste your money buying this like super expensive name brand roller extender, because the majority of the time, if you just take a broom handle and take the bristle part off, it'll screw right into your roller. That's what I've done forever. I don't think there's been any broom that hasn't fit before, so save yourself some money. Another great trick, which believe it or not, I did this when I painted the hallway blue, so those crisp clean lines are all these beautiful hands. This time I did not try that hard. I will be honest there. Just tape your brush to the end of that roller extender, and then you can cut in the areas that you can't reach, and it works out pretty good. Next, I went to my local hardware store where they have this little area where you can pick up paint that was wrongly mixed from previous people, and it is super discounted now. This gallon of paint at my local hardware store is normally about $35, and I got it for $8. I can't tell you what the shade name is because the word awesomeness on it, I was told, is definitely not the shade name, and they laughed at me when I asked if it was. But this shade of paint, it looks different in every kind of lighting. When it was on the top, I thought that it was just gonna be like a warm tone white, but as you can see, it's clearly like a tan, but then later in the end shots, it looks kind of gray. Not really sure what was going on with this paint, but all in all, it's not blue anymore, so that makes me happy. You can also see that I was yelling at Brian because he offered his help with this project, and I literally told him, paint everything but the banister, Brian. Everything but the banister. And what does he paint? He paints the fucking banister. And then I had to sand it all off and start over again. And what did he do? Cracked open a Heineken and left me to do it by myself. And then he went back to Arizona, so you, Brian. Next, I took these craft paints that I got and started mixing them separately in their own little cups with a little bit of that paint just to tone them down and make them a little bit more pastel. Now, I will say that I did not think about the fact that I'm doing a pastel rainbow down my staircase, but all of the decor that I have is nowhere near in that aesthetic at all. So, you know, if the end result is not for you, it's not for you. It's just not. Now, this definitely was tedious work as I wanted each little wood panel that was going down the staircase to be a different stripe. So being able to take those lines off, if you can see, I was only able to do every other stripe, let that dry, and then move the tape over onto the colored stripe to do the stripe next to it, if that makes sense. So that is definitely part of the reason why this makeover took me so long, but I think that it was worth it, honestly, because it's super cute. It matches the personality of everybody here, which is colorful, and the blue was just making it so dark and dreary. Next, I just started making some of my own DIY decor for this room. I am looking through Pinterest trying to find a quote that speaks to me, and you know, because I'm a basic bitch, I went with something about coffee and dogs, because that's me. And I wood burned it into the sign. Now, don't be intimidated by wood burning because it's very easy to pick up and learn. I watched a couple of YouTube videos and this took me about 30 minutes to do. It's really simple. Obviously, there's a specific technique to it and people that have so much more skill than me. But if you're just making something small like this, it's so easy. The other little DIY decor that I did was I picked up some of these dollar store little origami circles that were birthday signs, and they were kind of like foiled in blue and just so not the vibe. So I flipped them over to the back where it was just white paper, and then I used some leftover spray paint that I had and made them pink. And I just added a little bit of string to the ends of them and hung them up, and I think they turned out really cute. Next is a last minute decision. I watched this video by Hey It's Andie, and oh my gosh, I will link the video in the description. She's so cute, and the way that she did this in her hallway came out so much better than mine. But basically it's just hello 4 times. I ended up just doing 3 with a sun on the top, honestly, because I got lazy and I didn't want to write hello again. That's me, but it's just so cute, and I love the way that hers turned out, and I'm fairly happy with the way that mine did. It's not exactly what I expected, but I think that it'll grow on me definitely, and yeah. So that is everything, and this is how the hallway turned out. much for being here. Thank you to all my old subscribers, all my new subscribers. I hope you guys like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, and comment down below all of your thoughts. I want to know your thoughts on the hallway, your thoughts on me, your thoughts on my editing, on my videos, what you want to see from me next. I would love to hear from you guys. I am literally losing my voice because I've tried to film this so many times, but thank you guys again. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!